Hi, I'm Abitha, and we just finished looking at analysis and view in our last video, where we finished some FFT analysis, we moved some of the channels into view, so now we have a good idea of what our data looks like. But it doesn't look super nice. We want to make this a nice report that we can send out to our colleagues and that everyone can benefit from, with some additional details that we can't see in the view. So what we're going to do is, there's a button here, one of my favorite buttons. It takes exactly what you've created in view and moves it to report, the transfer to report button. I'm going to hit that, and it's going to take what I just created and move it directly to report. And this is my favorite part because we can make it all pretty now, so it looks perfect to be sent out as a report. So I want to do some work here at the top of the page. So I'm going to go ahead and shorten these graphs a little bit so that so we can see that there's some more space at the top for me to finish working out of. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete these legends. Anything you need to also delete on the interface of the report, right click and delete. So now I have some space here at the top, and there's a lot of elements in the DIAdem reporting toolbar that will allow us to add some details and make this look a lot nicer. So I'm going to pick text, and I'm going to add a title here. So I'm just going to start writing HVAC condenser report. And I'm not picking a super specific name here, but definitely should. But we can just see that we can add names, we can move them around. And then let's say I want to go in and maybe I want to add the DIAdem logo. I can do that. I know exactly where this report was created. So I can, add the DIAdem logo. My favorite part is I've seen a lot of people add their own images, upload them into DIAdem, and you can drag and drop virtually any photo you want. So that's one of my favorite things there. And then let's say I'm done with the built-in elements. Let me take some metadata and add it into the report. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to hit log, I'm going to look at my properties, and I'm going to pick the DUT and the operator, or not the test scenario. I'm going to pick the DUT operator, or let's also take the test scenario. Let's drag and drop them to the top. I know exactly who the operator was. Any information that a colleague might not have that I knew when I was building this report, we're going to go in and add it. And I'm going to go into log one, and let me just grab the test scenario for the second graph so that we know, or the people will know exactly what we're looking at. Oh my God. Okay. So we've added the property of test scenario. This one's the on and off test. And maybe I want some more details. So I'm going to go into accelerometer 1 from the first one. And I think something pretty crucial here is we were finding peaks, we were finding maximums. I think that's something we should include in the report. Seems pretty important. I'm going to go in and grab the maximum, and I'm just going to throw it down here. And I'm going to do the same thing for log 2. And ideally, I should have moved this up and added it over here, but we're going to work with what we have. And then I'm going to go into peak X, and I'm going to grab the max here because that's what we were looking at the bottom graph. So maybe I'll throw it down here. Do the same thing for the second one. Grab the maximum, and I'm adding it here. Move it along. And obviously you can spend as long or as little as you want making this look a lot nicer, but the idea here is that you can drag and drop metadata and add tons of elements from the DIAdem toolbar to make this graph, or to make this report, look the way you want it to. So I'm pretty much done here. I'm happy with this, and I'm going to go in and delete any other sheets that do not pertain to me. Maybe I made this when I was working on something different, but I do not want it anymore. And the reason I don't want it anymore is because I want to make this a template. So anytime I receive FlexLogger data that looks exactly the way this one does, and I want to use the same kind of reporting template, I don't want to have to drag and drop every single time I make it to the report panel. I'm going to have this preset. So for me to do this, I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Save As, and I'm going to pick our Labview cDAQ folder, and I'm going to rename this to, let's say, condenser frequency analysis template 1, since we already seem to have another one. So I'm going to hit save, and now that is saved as a template. And maybe something I should have done before that would be rename the sheet itself, because we have no idea what we are looking at here. So I'm going to save this as well with a better name. Okay, cool. And now this specific report, I want to export it. And with DIAdem, you get tons of options on exactly how you are going to export your file. But I'm going to pick a PDF today. I'm going to do a PDF export, and I'm going to go back, find my Labview+suite hands-on folder, go into reports, because this is now my report. I'm going to rename it again. I think frequency, however detailed you want it to be, and I'm going to hit save. And now my report is saved in our folder. So in this video, we saw exactly how to create a report. We went from start to finish in this mini series on how to go from using a navigator, finding your files in FlexLogger, doing some data exploration, doing some analysis with our FFT signal analysis, and creating a beautiful report that I've now saved into the cDAQ hands-on folder. And in the next video, you are going to see exactly how to automate DIAdem report generation using Labview.